The Middle East finds itself at a geopolitical crossroads, a region rich in history and resources, now facing a pivotal moment in its modern narrative. For decades, the region has been intricately linked with the West, particularly the United States, forming alliances that have shaped its political and economic landscape. This relationship, often fraught with complexities, has been shaped by energy dependence, security alliances, and political interventions. The Middle East's vast oil reserves have been a cornerstone of its interactions with Western powers, while military collaborations have further cemented these ties. However, the winds of change are blowing through the region, signaling a shift in alliances and priorities. As the global energy landscape evolves and renewable energy gains traction, the Middle East is exploring new avenues for growth and cooperation. The rise of the BRICS nations Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa has captured the attention of the Middle East. These emerging economies, with their significant influence and unique perspectives, present a compelling alternative to the traditional Western-centric order. This bloc of emerging economies, with its growing economic clout and distinct worldview, offers an alternative to the traditional Western-centric order. The BRICS nations are not only economic powerhouses, but also advocates for a more multipolar world, challenging the dominance of Western institutions. The Middle East, seeking to diversify its partnerships and navigate a rapidly changing global landscape, is increasingly drawn to the allure of BRICS. The potential for new trade routes, investment opportunities and technological collaborations is enticing for a region looking to broaden its horizons. This shift is not a sudden rupture, but rather a gradual recalibration of geopolitical priorities. The Middle East is carefully balancing its historical ties with the West, while exploring new relationships that promise mutual benefits. The Middle East remains engaged with the West, but the nature and intensity of that engagement are evolving. While traditional alliances are still in place, the region is more assertively pursuing its own interests and seeking partnerships that align with its long-term goals. The region is seeking to chart a more independent course, one that leverages its strategic importance and economic potential to forge new partnerships and secure its interests in a multipolar world. This strategic autonomy is crucial for the Middle East as it navigates the complexities of global politics. This evolving geopolitical landscape presents both challenges and opportunities for the Middle East. The region must address internal and external pressures while capitalizing on new economic and diplomatic avenues. As the region navigates this complex transition, it must carefully weigh its options and forge a path that ensures its stability and prosperity in the years to come. The decisions made today will shape the Middle East's future, determining its role in an increasingly interconnected and competitive world. The shift towards BRICS is, in part, a reflection of the perceived waning influence of the West. This shift is not just a sudden change, but a gradual evolution that has been in the making for years. The global financial crisis of 2008 exposed vulnerabilities in Western economies, shaking confidence in their leadership. The ripple effects of this crisis were felt worldwide, leading many to question the sustainability of Western economic models. The subsequent years have seen a rise in populism, nationalism and protectionism in the West, further eroding its image as a beacon of stability and prosperity. These movements have often been accompanied by political upheaval and social unrest, painting a picture of a West that is increasingly inward-looking and fragmented. In the Middle East, there is a growing sense that the West has failed to deliver on its promises. This sentiment is fueled by a history of unfulfilled commitments and perceived double standards in Western foreign policy. The Arab Spring, initially hailed as a wave of democratization, largely failed to bring about meaningful change. Instead, it left many countries in the region grappling with instability and conflict, further disillusioning those who had hoped for a new era of freedom and democracy. Western interventions in Iraq and Libya, often justified in the name of humanitarianism, have left behind a trail of instability and chaos. These interventions have been widely criticized for their long-term consequences, which include power vacuums and ongoing violence. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, despite decades of Western mediation, remains unresolved. The lack of progress in this area has further tarnished the West's reputation as an effective mediator in global conflicts. These failures have led to a reassessment of Western ties in the Middle East. Leaders in the region are increasingly questioning the benefits of their alliances with Western powers and are exploring new avenues for cooperation. The region, once heavily reliant on the West for security and economic assistance, is now seeking to diversify its partnerships and reduce its dependence. This shift is evident in the growing economic and diplomatic engagements with countries outside the traditional Western sphere of influence. This does not necessarily signify a complete break with the West, but it does indicate a desire for greater autonomy and a more balanced approach to foreign relations. Middle Eastern countries are looking to create a more multipolar world where they can play a more significant role. The Middle East is no longer content to be a passive recipient of Western policies. It is asserting its independence and seeking to shape its own future based on its unique needs and aspirations. It seeks a more active role in shaping its own destiny and is increasingly willing to engage with alternative power centers like BRICS to achieve its goals. This engagement is not just about economic benefits, but also about political and strategic alignment in a rapidly changing global landscape. The appeal of BRICS to the Middle East stems from several factors. Firstly, BRICS nations offer a different model of economic development, one that emphasizes infrastructure investment, trade, and technology transfer. This resonates with the Middle East's own development priorities, particularly its focus on infrastructure modernization and economic diversification. Secondly, BRICS promotes South-South cooperation, advocating for a more equitable global order that empowers developing countries. This message resonates strongly in the Middle East, a region that has often felt marginalized by the existing global power structures. BRICS offers a platform for the Middle East to amplify its voice on the global stage and advocate for its interests alongside other developing nations. Thirdly, BRICS nations generally adopt a policy of non-interference in the internal affairs of other countries. This is in stark contrast to the West, which has often been criticized for its interventionist foreign policies. The Middle East, wary of external interference, finds BRICS' approach more appealing as it aligns with its desire for greater sovereignty and autonomy. Finally, BRICS offers a sense of optimism and dynamism. These emerging economies represent the future of the global economy, and the Middle East is eager to be part of this growth story. By engaging with BRICS, the Middle East hopes to secure its economic future and position itself as a key player in the emerging multipolar world. China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, plays a significant role in the Middle East's pivot towards BRICS. This ambitious project, launched in 2013, aims to enhance global trade by developing infrastructure and broadening economic ties across continents. The BRI, a massive infrastructure development project spanning Asia, Africa and Europe, has been particularly well received in the Middle East. The region's strategic location makes it a key player in this grand vision, connecting the East and the West through a network of trade routes. Many countries in the region view the BRI as an opportunity to upgrade their infrastructure, attract foreign investment, and enhance their connectivity to global markets. This initiative is seen as a catalyst for economic growth and modernization, providing the much-needed boost to local economies. The BRI aligns with the Middle East's own development aspirations, particularly its focus on infrastructure modernization and economic diversification. Countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Egypt are leveraging the BRI to realize their ambitious national development plans. The Middle East is strategically located at the crossroads of Asia, Africa and Europe, making it a natural partner in the BRI. This geographical advantage positions the region as a vital link in the global supply chain, facilitating smoother and more efficient trade flows. The initiative has the potential to transform the region into a global logistics and transportation hub, further enhancing its economic significance. By improving ports, railways and highways, the BRI is set to revolutionize the way goods are transported across continents. Several Middle Eastern countries have signed agreements with China under the BRI framework, securing billions of dollars in investments for projects ranging from ports and railways to energy and telecommunications. These agreements are not just about infrastructure. They symbolize a deepening of economic and political ties. These investments are not only upgrading the region's physical infrastructure, but also creating jobs, boosting economic growth, and fostering closer ties between the Middle East and China. The influx of capital and expertise is helping to build a more resilient and diversified economy. The BRI is more than just an infrastructure project. It is a geopolitical tool that is reshaping global trade routes and power dynamics. By establishing new trade corridors, the BRI is challenging traditional trade routes and creating new opportunities for economic cooperation. The Middle East, recognizing the transformative potential of the BRI, is actively engaging with China to secure its place in this evolving global order. This collaboration is not only about economic benefits, but also about positioning the region as a key player in the new world economy.